welcome to Information Please, your Peoria Public Library on the air. Bring you information about your library and your community. And this evening, I'm very excited to have one of the members of our Board of Trustees with us, Jeanne Williamson, because we're going to have a very special event this fall, and she's going to talk to us all about that. Hi, Jeanne.
Hi.
I know you're busy, so thank you for doing all that you do for the library and coming today so we can find out about what we're going to have in October.
Very good. It's my pleasure to be here.
Tell me, why are we having this event?
Well, this is going to be the 135th celebration of our public library system here in Peoria. So we're looking forward to a great evening celebrating that marker in time for us.
Yeah, it's the name of it is
What's Your Story?
Yeah. And there was the history of the library in Peoria goes back even farther than 135 years, but it's the tax-supported part that we celebrate. So can you tell us a little bit about the history of the library?
Why, sure. Before we became a tax-supported library system, there were subscription libraries here in Peoria. They included the Mercantile Library and the German Library Association. Yeah. And so people subscribed to go to the library. Well, then Peoria, being insightful as Peorians always are, they voted to support a tax-based library system. And then those two groups merged and donated their buildings and all of their materials. And that was the beginning of a tax-supported public library system in Peoria.
Yeah, that gave us a great start.
Fantastic start.
Yeah, and I've got on the screen here, this is a picture of the building that was built in 1890. Took them a while to get organized, but with the great donations from Peorians, they got going and had a great collection. And but there's something very special about Peoria and the library law, and I know you know what it is.
I do, I do. The state of Illinois passed a law supporting tax-supported libraries in 1870, so it goes clear back. Yeah. And that law was authored by a Peorian, and his name is Horatus Wilcox. Yeah. And so he became the founder, really, of tax-supported libraries. So we were a model, not only for Peoria, but for the entire country. And there was a great debate at one time. People thought this law was sponsored by the Chicago area, but oh no, we prevailed, and it was substantiated that Mr. Wilcox was the author of this law. And then he went on and became the librarian the head librarian for Peoria for years. And my understanding is the Wilcox Street here in Peoria is named after him. So I think we have a long history and a great model for the country. And I bet a lot of people don't know that about Mr. Wilcox.
I don't think they do either. Peoria was such an innovative place in the late 1800s. And, you know, we had a ballet company, we had opera, we had theater. And, of course, that was all the money from the distilleries. But we were able to attract brilliant people like Mr. Wilcox who could, you know, come up with a law that was universally acceptable to people and get public library service out there and working, which is a fabulous thing for our country, for everybody.
And here we are today, still using that formula to support our libraries.
Yeah.
And so a visionary, and again, the Peorians got behind that and supported it. And what a great gift to our city it has been.
It absolutely has been, because now we've got 135 years of providing that service. What about the library today?
Oh, well, we have 5 branches, and as you well know, a lot of them have all been renovated and updated, and we have a new branch out at North, so they're beautiful. And I think in the statistics that we, as trustees, that we get from the administration of the library, in 2014, over 700,000, almost 800,000 visitors came into our library. I mean, that is phenomenal, because a lot of our institutions in Peoria, you know, target 200 or 300, but not us. Our target is 800,000 visitors to our libraries, and it's a goal that the trustees set for the library system, and we have met that, exceeded that, and have done extremely well, so we're very proud of that. And also some of the statistics that the management shared with us shows that 1.2 million items were in our circulation that left our library system and used by those people that are frequent our libraries. I mean, that's a phenomenal number. And that doesn't even touch the number of people that come in and use all of our technology in our computers. And I always say, if you haven't been in a library lately, you need to go in, because not only the shelves are filled with books, but there's all kinds of the latest technology that we have available. And people order books online, they can get them on their Kindles from the library. Fantastic service that we offer. Staying in trend with all the technology services.
Yeah, that's it exactly. As people don't realize that the library these days is so much like the real world with, you know, online delivery. You don't have to leave your home or your office. Local businesses, small businesses take advantage of us because you've got your library card. You can access all sorts of information just with that library card.
Right.
It's truly amazing.
I usually get online and put a book on hold. They send me an email and tell me the book has arrived, and I go pick it up. It is, yes, people need to be aware of the fact. And I know you can get them right on your Kindles or whatever too.
Yeah.
And I've done that periodically where, but I still like to hold a book. So, but incredible technology services that are available.
Yeah, I tend to usually have several ebooks, several print books, and an audio book or two going all at the same
That's
time.
right. Yes.
And the audio book might be on CDs, or it might actually be on my tablet, and I've got that plugged in. So it's so many ways you can use it. But and with the research, and when you think about the fact that people can't walk into a fast food restaurant and apply for a job, people send them to the library to use our computers.
Yeah.
And so without that, you know, that's just a huge service, and it's all day, every day that we have folks using our public computers or our Wi-Fi with their own computers, devices. You walk in and the whole library is filled with people with something plugged into the side because we have all those power ports and it's ready to go.
And our facilities are beautiful and used by community members for a lot of meetings.
Oh, yes.
And I think the programming that we do for children, especially at the library, is just incredible. So it isn't just going and checking out a book anymore. It's very different. And the spaces are beautifully renovated. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just a very, very beautiful. And I would encourage people to come and visit all of our sites. They are just remarkable. The 5 of them are.
Well, they must be pretty good looking, since the Chamber of Commerce and the Visitors Bureau just came and filmed so that they could show off Peoria. So you don't do that unless you've got something good to show off.
Yeah, very special and done extremely well.
Yeah.
And so great place to go. I know when my daughter's home, she'd often go and down to the library to study because it's a beautiful environment. So yeah.
You can find the place close to home that's for you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about the event a little bit more. What date is it?
It is Monday, October 12th at the main library downtown, and it will be from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And it's What's Your Story?
What's your story?
Right.
And our special guest, who I've got a picture of right here.
Oh, yes. Melanie Benjamin. She is one part of our evening. If you come to our event, and of course we want the public to come to our event, you will get to see Melanie Benjamin talk about one of her latest book, which is The Aviator's Wife, an incredibly great book. I know my book club read it. I know a lot of book clubs in Peoria have read it.
Yeah.
But it is a very, very special book. And I think we chose this book because it's the story from Anne Moreau Lindbergh's, Charles Lindbergh's wife. It is her story about their marriage, their relationship, and their life together. So it fits perfectly with our theme, What's Your Story? What's your story, Anne Moreau Lindbergh? And not only do I think it's a fabulous book, but I think it fits perfectly with our theme of people telling their story.
Yeah, and I think the reason that you chose that was to show the library is such a huge influence on our community. For 135 years, the library has been there to influence people, provide what they need for lifelong learning, help them accomplish their dreams. And so, of course, we've got this fabulous author, and we can come back and talk more about her book a little bit later and about her. But what else is going to happen at this event?
Oh, there are so many things that are going to go on, and some very, very special things. One of the things that we did is we have contacted about 100 people from our community to share with us what's their story, what's their favorite book, or what book has influenced their life, or whatever. So we've had a great response from those people, and they have sent us back for our program their story. And we have everything from people who chose children's books to books that have been passed down from generations to their families, or just a book, a classic book that meant a lot to them. And so part of your program is you get to see in the program booklet all of the bestsellers from Peoria. And so I think that, and of course I've had a sneak peek as I've seen some of these come through, and that in itself is just going to be a delightful thing to be able to look. And I thought, oh, I haven't read that book. I might want to read that book. And so that's part of our program booklet. But then we chose 8 of those people, to have book talks. So 8 people will be having some book talks. This is my story. This is why I chose it. And you can select. This event is so different, Tricia, than any other event. This is not the typical, come in, sit down, dinner, have a speaker. This is very different. You come in, obviously you'll have a time slot to see Melanie Benjamin talk about the Aviator's wife. But then all this other stuff is going on through 3 floors of the main library where you can come in, buy a glass of wine. All of the hors d'oeuvres are free. They're provided by Cracked Pepper. So you can do that. You can see Melanie Benjamin. You can go to a book talk. Besides the book talks, and there's some other very special things. The Experimental Aircraft Association is going to be there.
That's going to be fun.
Oh, he's going to talk about everything from Lindbergh's flights all the way up to drones. He's got special airplanes. So you might want to select during your evening and go see his presentation. I know the library has a special guest coming. Mr. Wilcox will be there.
Erastus Wilcox will be there.
He's going to be there. So I think this is really unique. So you can come in and you sort of get to plan your evening. Okay, well, you get a slot for Melanie Benjamin because she's going to speak twice.
Yeah, you'll get your boarding pass.
You get your boarding pass to see her. But then all the rest of it, you sort of control what you're going to do. At a specific time, we're going to actually have a cake celebrating the 135th birthday of the library. So there's just a lot of roving things that you can do, choose to do or choose not to do. And so we really think this is going to be unique, and that you can make this evening what you want to make it.
Exactly.
So, and that book store is going to be open.
Yeah, Friendly Finds, which is down across from where Melanie Benjamin will speak on lower level 2, is open, and great place to pick up gently used books. For some of those books sell for $0.25, $1, big, beautiful art books for $5. And so and every cent of that money goes directly back to support library programming. So we can do all those great things like summer reading and bringing in authors and bringing in musicians. And so that'll be a fun thing to drop in on that evening.
And I last year for Christmas at my house, I went to the Friendly Bookstore and got these books for $0.25, 50 cents. Everybody that came to my house at Christmas time received a book that I got to personally select, and it cost me nothing, except for it was a great donation to the library. And I got to tell you, my family and friends just got the biggest hoot out of that.
Oh, everybody getting a book.
Everybody got a book, and they were like, "Did you steal these from the library?" They're got the Peoria Public Library
with a red line through it.
Red line. No. They sell them, and so they're gently used. But it was a great hit. So I really would encourage people to go and look at those bookstores. So
and I know that one of the popular things is people will buy books when they're traveling because they can leave it behind.
Yeah.
They only have $1 invested in
or
something,
quarter,
and they can leave it behind, or you can find. As I said, discarded library books that are beautiful art books or whatever. It's got somebody who loves Renoir. There you go, big, beautiful books. Yeah.
Well, and we're going to have silent auction items.
Oh, yes, this is exciting.
This is very exciting. And again, this is different. This isn't like you go in and there's 30 things all over. We selected 6 really special items that correlated with our theme.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, we have a helicopter ride that you can purchase. We have Aviator sunglasses by Maui Jim that you can bid on. This is the really special one. This Stearman BiPlane little trip you can bid on.
On that.
Oh,
Who's
my
ever
gosh.
been up in a Stearman biplane?
Oh, I mean, I think that will just be so
Are
exciting.
you bidding on that one?
You know, I was telling a friend of mine this, and she has a grandson, and she says, my grandson would just be, she goes, that has to be an item that I bid on. So, you know, and you know, from Goods in Kewanee, they have an airplane wing that is a coffee table. Oh my gosh, it's so special. Plus, there's going to be a gift card with that. We have a tour, behind the scenes tour of our own airport that's going to be very special and can take like 10 to 12 people on this tour. That will be delightful. One of the really special things is, you know, from the Commerce Building, you know, there's a big light.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what that light is for. That light was to direct planes into Peoria years ago. No, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's not what it's for,
No,
but it's still there.
It's still there. So we're going to have a photograph taken of the Peoria skyline or whatever from that spot, framed, tied in with a gift card to Sky Harbor Inn, which is a package. So those, that is really, I mean, Sky Harbor, a lot of the pilots go eat you know. So anyway, this all fits with our theme and very unique and special auction
Things you
item.
won't get anywhere else.
No place else. Unique, fits our theme, and so we're very excited about that.
And of course, every cent from that silent auction goes right back to the library.
Absolutely.
To support us.
Absolutely.
That's what we need.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then one other thing I forgot is we have 5 local artists that are going to be with us that evening on the art gallery floor, displaying their goods. And I mean, and we have everything from Jonathan Romaine, who's a painter, Jamie Shirley, who does photography, Kathy Crawford, woodcuts, Janet Jackson's a painter, and Karen Jensen, who does drawings, painting, and tattoos. So they're going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, and so, I mean, you get to go through the art gallery, see some really incredible local artists if you want to do that. Oh, and I forgot.
Well, and we have that exhibit there.
Yes.
Our regular exhibit that's there for the whole month
The
is
Prairie-
the Prairie Fiber Art Guild.
Oh, yes, beautiful. But I did forget, matching with our period, the Lindberghs, we have the Peoria All-Star Jazz Ensemble that will be with
Gotta
us.
have music for a
Gotta have
special
music.
evening.
So this is just like an incredible event for what would you like to do and what would you like to see. And again, it goes back to, you know, what's your story? What's this, you know, so we're really thrilled. We're really excited about this upcoming event.
Yeah. Well, what does it cost to go to this lovely thing? And I've got, you know, a number you can call, which if you call on the phone, you can use a credit card to purchase your ticket. If you'd rather, you can mail a check to the programming department at the library, and all that information's on our website, and I've got the address up there.
Okay.
But
General admission, and this is a great event. You can see all the things that are
Yeah.
going on and all these people. So to buy a ticket to come and to see Melanie Benjamin, have your hors d'oeuvres, cake, whatever, is only $35. I mean, it barely covers the cost. But we
Yeah.
want people to come into our libraries. That's important. You can purchase the book with your ticket if you would like, The Aviator's Wife, and we'll have that available for $60. And so in this book, you know, is about a $30 book. So you can
oh yeah, it's
imagine.
in a hardbound book, and
beautiful.
you will have seen Melanie Benjamin for
yes.
yourself.
And she is going to do some signing of books after her presentation, so you might be able to get your book even signed by her. This, to me, is the biggest bargain. You can buy a book club. And I'm going to do this for my friends, and so I hope other people will join us.
Yeah.
Where you can get 10 general admission tickets for $300.
Which
So
it saves $5
right.
a ticket.
It saves $5 a ticket, and of course you can distribute those to your friends and say, please come to this, especially if you've had a book club, actually, that have studied the book. This is a perfect fit.
Yeah.
And then we have a variety of sponsorships starting at $1,000, $2,000, and $5,000. And there's a lot of perks with that. You get some free beverages with that, and some free, some reserved parking spots, and so on and so forth. And again, our sponsorships we will obviously recognize in our program booklets, but that will be important to the success. So we hope businesses and people in the community will consider being one of our sponsors.
Yeah, consider what, you know, part the library plays in our community in providing so many different things to our students, to our business people, just to people for leisure, because very rarely do we charge for anything.
Right. And
It's
and
almost
this is-
always free.
Right. And you know, we are tax supported, which is important, but I come from the school business, which was always tax supported.
Right.
But we always did additional fundraising so that we could have the best of the best
Yeah,
at
the
times.
extras.
The extras. And so we will always continue to function extremely well, but we'd like to do some, you know, extra things for the library. The facilities are gorgeous. We need to maintain that, maintain our technology, and so we want to continue to be very progressive as we move forward.
Well, obviously, if you have that number of people, 800,000 people a year coming in and out of your buildings, that it's important to, you know, keep up with that flow of the traffic and be able to keep serving people and functioning. And you know, a great example of that is the Lincoln Branch Library, which, you know, was opened in 1911, and that came from a grant from Carnegie Library.
Carnegie, right.
But it's one of the few Carnegie libraries still operating as a library, and of course we've added on to the back of it. But that shows you what can happen if you can maintain your property and your buildings and to continue to serve that neighborhood as long as that building has. And it's an anchor. It's
It is
an anchor.
beautiful. I mean, that addition is well done with the old portion. You know, I mean, it is just a very beautiful. I know we've had meetings in the meetings rooms down there. Absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous library, and we're very proud of that, as we should be. But we need to maintain that caliber. 800,000 people in 1 year going to validates we've got a good thing going here.
Yes.
But again, it's important for us to continue to move forward, and that's part of this fundraising and to get people in and see what we do at the libraries.
See how important it is.
And
for
reading
everyone.
is critical to people.
It is.
To me, I mean, I read every day of my life. I mean, I'd rather read than watch TV.
Well, that's why we start with baby story time.
Right.
We've
Exactly.
got the young moms bringing the tiny little ones in and getting them
Exactly.
used to that experience of how important reading really is. So in September, we're going to do something special at Lincoln Branch because we're getting our plaque installed.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to have a special guest. In fact, our trustee meeting will be held there with a reception. And that person, Kathleen
Deitwig.
Deitwig, is also in our program booklet. And
She is.
she shares what her story is. And I won't give away what that is.
Yeah.
But again, it's a perfect match for somebody. Her mother was, back in the 70s, was very committed to keeping libraries functional and open, and here we are thriving at Lincoln, and so we are going to honor the Deitwig family.
Right,
So, yeah.
right. And install our plaque for being on
Yep.
the National Register
Absolutely.
of Historic Places because that's how good that building is.
Right, it is
Yeah.
exceptional. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
We have about 4 minutes left, so I'm going to ask you if you know what else Melanie Benjamin has kind of in the hopper. She's got some
Yes.
she has some other books besides.
right. She wrote 2 other books before this one, Alice, I Have Been, which was inspired by Alice in Wonderland, sort of cool. She did the autobiography of Mrs. Tom Thumb, again, like Mrs. Lindbergh. We've got the wife of Mrs. Tom Thumb. She did that. And what's coming out in January is a new book, is The Swans of Fifth Avenue. Special about the Aviator's wife, my understanding is might be a movie coming out down the road. I read that, and so I think,
heard
woohoo,
that they're going to make the Aviator's wife into a movie.
Yeah.
So that will be exciting.
exciting. And so we get a sneak preview of the author. But yes, she is a well-recognized New York bestseller list, USA Today bestseller list. She is a really incredibly great writer, and I think the public will be delighted because she has a theater background, so she should be a great speaker as well.
Yeah, I think so. And I've often found when we have authors come who maybe have something in production for movies, you get a sneak peek and you get to hear the behind the scenes of what's going on, and a lot more than you might pick up in the media.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, interesting characters she has picked.
She
you know,
has.
The woman who was the basis of Alice in Wonderland and what happened to her.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Tom Thumb, who
Oh,
of
yeah.
course was one of the huge celebrities of the
Yeah.
1860s
Well,
with P.T. Barnum.
because they were little people, and yes, very, very famous. So she has really, and I think this new book, The Swans of Fifth Avenue, you know, the glamour stars of New York, and her insights as to what was going on. Who won't want to read that book?
Oh yeah, Truman Capote's mixed in there. And of course, with all the recent news about Harper Lee's book coming out, people will want to know about that. And so we may get her to, give us a few hints about that one, because it's not coming out until January of 2016.
That's right, her new book. Yeah.
So in case somebody tuned in late, I want to recap the date.
It's Monday, October 12th, Main Library from 5:30 to 8 o'clock. We want people to arrive at 5:30 because they're going to get their passes to when the shows, and they got to have time to plan their event. But
to look and see everything that's available and plan your evening.
Tons of great
where
things.
you want to go
Should
and what
be a
you want to
great
do.
time.
Yeah.
So.
And then you can get tickets, of course, on our website. Ask at a desk. Call the main library. And they'll get you to the right place. You can pay by credit card. And ticket price, again?
Well, general admission is $35.
That is such a deal.
A deal. I mean,
for what you're going to get.
Absolutely, a great deal.
New York Times best-selling author, hors d'oeuvres from Cracked Pepper, birthday cake,
all
music,
kinds of
artists.
Name it. It's going to be a great evening.
It is.
Okay.
Well, Jeannie, thank you so much for
my
coming.
Pleasure.
And,
thank you.
We'll let you get back to party planning.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for watching this evening, and I hope that everybody will come to What's Your Story on October 12th, which is a Monday. It's Columbus Day. Some of you may be off work, but if not, it's perfect to just hop over right after work and enjoy some hors d'oeuvres, a glass of wine, hear some great music, hear a great author, and just see who's there. Find out what makes Peorians tick, what they like to read, what they like to do. You can get so much more information on our website about this event and all of our events at www.peoriapubliclibrary.org. We'll see you next week on Information Please.